Hi! This is a review of Player One by Douglas Coupland. This is a book that I randomly picked up at a bookstore. I hadn't heard about this book before, I had no previous knowledge about the author, but I really enjoyed this book. This is contemporary fiction, and I think the first couple of lines on the back of the book describe the storyline best. It says that it's a real-time 5-hour story set in an airport cocktail lounge during a global disaster. There's a different chapter for each hour, and then in these chapters it's separated between the 5 different points of view. When I read on the back of the book that it was kind of apocalyptic, I got very excited because I really like apocalyptic stories, but what I got instead was something that was more about life in general and about really getting into the head of these characters and the way they think. So I was expecting a bit more plot, but it doesn't mean that I was disappointed in this book. It's a story about 5 people that all somehow end up in the same cocktail lounge in an airport. There's a woman who is meeting up with someone she's kind of dating on the internet. There's this reverend who has stolen all the money that his congregation had saved up for, I believe, a charity. The bartender who works at the cocktail lounge is also one of the characters. There is Rachel, who I thought was probably most interesting out of all of them. She had a bit of a Sherlock thing going on, as in that she's really intelligent, but she just does not understand humanity or humans. She doesn't really understand emotions. She looks at everything in a very technical way. But she has had normalcy training, so she knows how to respond to stuff, and seeing things from her head, and then after observing her from a different character's point of view was really awesome. The final character is Player One, who is kind of this mysterious being who is observing everything. While they're in this bar together, a kind of really big explosion happens, and they try and look on the internet and on TV. And I don't think that it's completely clear what has happened, but the fuel prices are going up, and within an hour or something you can't buy fuel anymore, so airplanes aren't gonna fly. You don't actually get to see any of this. This is kind of what they hear through the internet and TV. Basically the whole world, or at least the world as far as they can tell, is flipping out, so they're stuck in this airport lounge and they're gonna have to deal with things. The back of the book mentioned that this whole style that the book was written in is kind of in the tradition of Kurt Vonnegut and J.G. Ballard. To me it felt a bit Hitchhiker's Guide-y, just in the fact that it explores all these questions that sometimes seem a bit irrelevant or weird, but they're very interesting at the same time. The back of the book also mentions that this book asks more questions than it answers, and that is definitely right, and that's probably one of the most interesting things about this book. I underlined so many things in this book just because there were so many kind of interesting phrases. I like this one. It's the woman who's going on the blind date. She says, "Wouldn't it be great if stars turned black during the day? The sky covered with dots like pepper? A crescent moon is visible in the south. Imagine looking up at the moon and seeing it on fire." There's a bit where the pastor has to deal with all the crazy ladies in his congregation, and one woman didn't show up to the meeting and all the other ladies are pissed that she isn't there. And then the pastor says, "Isn't it funny that the rapture finally happens and the only person to be taken away is Cynthia?" This is the same lady again who says that she once heard that the best thing for the planet would be for everyone to stay in one place for 5 years. No more transients, no more geographical cures, no more petro holidays, just a simple commitment to one spot. To go along with all these fascinating ideas, probably the most interesting part of the book is the future legend at the end of the book. It's about 30 pages and it has all the weird concepts and ideas that are explored in the book, but then in the back, kind of as definitions, there's ones that make a lot of sense, and then there are some that are just complete nonsense. Capillary generative memory. The tendency of history to remember people who invent new hairstyles. For example, Julius Caesar, Albert Einstein, Marilyn Monroe, Adolf Hitler, and the Beatles. Crazy uncle syndrome, or for that matter, crazy aunt syndrome. One of the few genuine indicators for success in life is having a few crazy relatives. So long as you get only some of their crazy genes, you don't end up being crazy yourself. You merely end up different. And it's that difference that gives you an edge that makes you successful. See also train wreck equilibration theory. Anyways, very interesting book. I would definitely recommend this. I read it on a plane and sitting at an airport next to a kind of cocktail lounge, so that added a bit to the atmosphere. It was not what I expected at first, but it definitely did not disappoint. In the comments you can let me know if you've read this book and if you liked it, and if you have any other books that you can recommend by Douglas Coupland. I would definitely be up for that. I will see you guys later. Doei!